Welcome back to Trader UK, Adam here. Today I'm going to be doing an updated walkthrough on Degiro, the investment platform. It's been about a year or so since I did one of these, so I have a bit longer with the platform now, and there have been a few updates in the meantime as well, a few new things to show you. So if you are new to the platform, or maybe you're looking to sign up to this platform, then this one is going to be useful for you to find your way around. If you are new as well, feel free to use any of the affiliate links down in the description. We have links to all the platforms that we use on the channel here. Give me a second to get signed in and then I'll show you your way around. Now I'm logged in here on a desktop and I'm using the custody version. So if you are using a tablet or maybe you're using a different account type, it may look slightly different, but you should have all the basics here. We're going to start on the left hand side with the market tab at the top. The market tab will act as your home page, and then we'll run through all the different tabs that we have here before looking at individual stocks, how to buy, how to sell, etc. In the top left hand corner we have a quick search function, so if you know the name of a company or its ticker symbol, you can pop that in here and then click on the name of the company. It will take you into the individual stocks, so you can either buy or sell or look at some of the data that they have there. Then we have a summary of your account. So first of all, balance. This could be displayed in pounds, euros, whatever your base currency is. For mine, it's pounds, so we'll work with that. The balance is the total of your investments plus the total of any cash that you have. Then you've got portfolio. This is displayed in your base currency, but it's the value of all your investments converted back at today's exchange rates if they are held in US stocks or overseas stocks. MMF, money market funds. So this is where your cash is kept, essentially, kept separate from Degiro's own funds. It's a control that they always have in place. Money market funds will normally agree to your available to trade balance. You can see mine is the same there. There can be differences with that. So it could be if a company that you own has paid a dividend, for example, you may see a difference. It could be that if you've just recently sold a stock, you may see a difference in there. But it's normally a timing issue, but like today, it will normally agree. And then you've got your day result. You can switch this across to a lifetime result here, whichever you prefer. Very quickly in the top right hand corner, I will just mention this is where you can deposit or withdraw funds if you're looking to make your first purchase or maybe close sales and withdraw funds from your account. The place order function, I don't normally use this. I would normally search for the company and then click on the buy button from there. But if you want to, you can use that place order function. If you watched my video last year, you'll now see a new function that we have here. So you can see kind of tabs within the market tab here. So we're on the market tab at the moment. We can switch across though to the news tab. Degiro has a pretty powerful news engine here. So you can see it's quite worldwide, but you can filter it down if you want a specific country or specific industry. Then you have the agenda tab. This is really useful. I actually didn't even realize this was here until recently, but bank holidays, for example, public holidays are all detailed in here, and it will tell you which exchanges are going to close on those days. You've also got details of IPOs, dividends that are going to be paid, upcoming dividends, earnings as well. This is probably the most useful feature of this page. The earnings, you can come in at the beginning of the week, click on current week, and it will tell you the companies that have earnings coming up in that week, along with estimates for revenue, estimates for EPS, market cap. And you can usually, when we get a bit closer to the dates, here we go, you can actually watch the live webcast from here by clicking these links. So a very useful feature. I don't tend to use the news feature as much, because they have a summary on the market page, which we'll see in a second, but certainly the agenda tab, don't forget that that's here because it is hidden away a little bit. Then we've got a summary of the different exchanges across Europe and across the US as well. So if you want to look at the NASDAQ 100, for example, the chart below will populate that market. It's not for specific stocks, this one, but for the market. And of course, you can edit the chart to look at whatever date range you want, whether it's 1 week, 1 month, right the way up to all the data that they have. Some of you will prefer as well the candlesticks, so you can switch into chart settings and adjust anything from here. So you can do 1 day on the candlesticks, The smallest interval they have is 5 minutes. Save that and it will switch it across. There is a more powerful chart as well, the interactive graph. If you click on this, it will open a page in your browser, but maybe if you're a trader or day trader, I'm not very good on the charts, but if you want to plot lines and boxes and look at resistance, then you can use that feature there. One thing that I will point out, if you're not very active on the platform, or maybe you just haven't placed your first order, made your first transaction yet, some of the data can actually be 10 or 15 minutes delayed, the US markets, for example. Once you've placed an order or made a transaction on those markets, the platform should update within 24 hours or so and give you real-time data, and it should stay that way for the rest of the month at least. If you don't place an order, you'll switch back to that delay normally, 10-15 minutes. I'll show you how to spot that in a second. But also, if you just want to pay, I think it's €5, you can do for the month, and they will update you to real-time information as well. Winners and losers on the right-hand side, you can switch between the different markets. Really useful, I use this quite often. If you want to look at, probably my favorite, the NASDAQ, and see, give it a second to populate, but at who's moving, who's up, who's down. Then if I scroll down a little bit, you're going to see on the left hand side, you've got the news feature again. So this is why I don't tend to use that news tab that we looked at, because you've got a summary here, which you can sort the latest news by country, if you like. The top news will normally be international. On the right hand side, you've got exchange rates or currency. I don't trade Forex, but I do keep an eye on this when the pound is strong against the dollar, for example. Lets me know, I don't know, good times to buy and sell in the US markets. Futures below that as well. Again, I don't trade futures, but you do have the option here. But also good for getting an idea of the sentiment in the market. If everything's green on the futures, then chances are it's probably going to be quite a good day in the market overall. Then below that, we've got stocks to watch. You can normally, with these pre-populated sections, hover over the question mark. It will tell you how they've been populated, but stocks to watch is normally anything that's been IPO'd or anything in the news recently that's creating headlines, or maybe something trading in really high volume, so worth keeping an eye on. You have all the main commodities in here. If you do hold any, I hold a small amount of gold, which has been doing terribly recently, but done a little bit better today, but you can keep an eye on fluctuations from there and then trade from here as well. Below that, you have a link to invite a friend. You get £20 in transaction credit. Like I said, if you did want to use the affiliate link that's down in the description, then feel free to do so. And now we can move on to the favorites tab. With the favorites tab, as always, you always have your quick search in the top left-hand side, but that's a quick search for all markets, all stocks. If you want to search your favorites, mine's pre-populated because I've already chosen my favorite stocks I'm keeping an eye on. Then you can search, for example, if we look for Apple, you can search what's in here, but it will only search what's in your favorite list. So just be careful which search function you're using. Now, I don't believe there is any limit to how many companies you can add into your favorites, but if you are more organized than me, you can always add different favorite lists here. Maybe you can have UK companies, UK stocks, US stocks, whatever it is, or maybe by sector, and it will give you a separately populated list. When you then add a favorite company, it will give you the option, which list would you like to add it to, but I just stick with everything within the one. Of course, I've already added my favorite companies, so you can see here it gives you a summary of each one. Abbott Laboratories, for example, if you hover over the name, you can actually click on that and it will take you into the individual stock. You then have a ticker symbol, you have the product type, these are all shares. If you did have options or warrants, it would show you in here as well. The exchange that they're listed on, if it's the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, the latest price, normally shown in the base currency, whether it's dollars or pounds, but it will tell you euros there, for example. Bid and ask. When you're buying and selling stocks, you always have two different prices. If you're wondering which is which, the ask is normally the price that you will buy a stock at. The bid is normally the price that you will sell the stock at. If you ever get confused and you forget the difference, just remember, you're always going to buy at the higher price. And if you look at this, the ask is always the higher price. That's how it works, unfortunately. You also have a points movement for the day and what that is in percentage terms. Volume, very important. If you have really low volume, it means you might have low liquidity. So you might send an order to sell a stock at whatever price you can get. If there's low volume, it might take a while to execute, and then it ends up selling at a lower price than you were expecting. So be careful of that. Where you have higher volume, it means that the transaction should go through pretty quickly. And then a low and a high as well. That's the low and the high for the day. Here at the end, you can see green dots, orange dots, and then a couple of letters after them. BT means bats. Hover over it and it will tell you, but green means real time, orange 15-minute delay, so keep an eye on that, but that's where you can find the information. In the portfolio tab then, this is all the investments that I've had positions in. My active investments here in the open positions, but you can switch across to closed positions, investments that I've actually sold out of, and they'll all be detailed here. We'll concentrate on the open positions first of all. So again, you have a bit of a summary. As always, you can click on the name to take you through into that individual stock. You have the quantity of your investment. So I have 25 shares in Auto Trader, 40 in Carnival Corp. Price is always shown in the currency that it's listed in, so whether it's pounds or dollars or euros. And it gives you the currency next to it as well. The value though, this will be in your base currency. So for me, it's pounds. If you ever look across here and it doesn't seem to add up, it might be because you've got 40 shares at $25. Well, that's about $1,000 and it equates to £746 in this case. So just bear that in mind. Your break-even point will be shown in the currency that the stock was purchased in. So Carnival, for example, my break-even is $15 on that one. Again, we have movement for the day in pounds, up or down, and percentage terms, as well as the overall profit or loss that you've made so far on there. At the end, again, you can see the symbols, whether it's in real time or whether it's delayed. We've got a different color here. We've got blue as well. So this is one stock that I hold, Lake Resources. There's a video on my channel about this one. I really like this one actually as a long-term hold, a lithium mining company. But because it's the Australian market, they only update the prices at the end of each day. So keep an eye on that as well, because this price that's shown here is not accurate. I've now moved on to the activity tab, and you can see we've got a number of subsections in here. Orders, so any orders that you made for particular stocks or warrants or options or whatever it might be will be detailed in here. If I had made orders that haven't been filled yet, they would be displayed here on this screen. But if you want to look at orders that you made in the past, you can switch across to history, and then you can date range, and it should show us any orders that you made. Doesn't mean that they were filled, these orders. They just mean that you placed the orders. They might not have actually been successful. If you want to look at orders that were filled, switch across to transactions. Again, you can date range, and you've got a list of all the transactions that you've made in here. This is really useful. Maybe at the end of the year, if you're working out your taxes, your capital gains, you've got all the detail. Everything you bought, everything you sold is all detailed in here, along with the exchange rates that were used to calculate the gains. The account statement, this is going to show you everything that's gone on in your account. So buys, sales, exchange rates, transaction fees, any charges, it's all detailed in here. Reports. You may not have anything in your reports tab if you're new to the platform, but once a year they generate a cost and charges statement, and it will show you everything that's gone on in your account, all of the fees, where they come from, and how that relates to your account as well. And then finally, portfolio depreciation. I never use this, but if you want, you can switch in here and you can see how each of your positions are impacting your portfolio, depreciation in percentage terms, and a monetary amount here. Now onto the products tab. Now, depends on which account you're in. You have custody accounts, basic accounts, active accounts, trader accounts, day trader accounts. So each account has access to different products. The custody account is a bit more basic, so I probably have less if you are in one of those other accounts. But I have shares, bonds, investment funds, ETFs and trackers here. So if you did have options and warrants, they would show in this list here. Today we'll concentrate just on shares, but if you did want to come and search through different bonds, you can do that from here. Now, if you really want, you can use this feature, of course. Maybe for research, it's quite useful if you just want to look at get ideas of companies and search through the FTSE 100, or look at all the companies that make up the FTSE 250 or the NASDAQ or whatever it might be. It could be quite useful for that. I don't tend to use this for individual companies because I would normally use that quick search up on the left hand side if I was already aware of the company that we're talking about. Now let's click on the name of a company and I'll just show you how the buying and selling works as well. So AstraZeneca, well known at the moment, we'll pop into that one. Once you're in the individual stock page, you're going to find a little bit of a summary at the top here. So AstraZeneca, the price is £70.98, 1.32% up for the day. You have the chart below, which looks very familiar to the chart you found on the home page, except this time specific to this company. You can range it as you like before, and again, switch it across to your preferences. If you prefer the candlesticks, you can change that from here. On the right hand side, a little bit of pricing data, volume, bid, ask, etc., but you won't really need that. This is really useful below. You have a news feed here. This is specific to this company. So it's been through all the news from the home page and it pulls out anything specific to AstraZeneca. So very useful for staying up to date with companies that you invest in. On the right hand side, you've got the key financials. So we've got 91 billion market cap, 19.25 billion of revenue, 5 billion of EBITDA. Sometimes I just double check this to other platforms or maybe Google's figures as well to make sure it's up to date. If we scroll down a little bit further as well, you've got links to the website. And for companies that you know absolutely nothing about, you can click on the business summary and it will tell you the basics of what that company does. Again, very good for researching new companies. One other feature that I like at the bottom of the page, the analyst views, so you can see general sentiment from analysts, what they think about this company. If we switch back to my portfolio tab and we choose the company that I actually own, Carnival Corp's a good one. I'm just going to show you the very basics of buying and selling as well. Now I'm going to link in a card videos to go through lots of different order types, how they work. But for now, I'll just show you the very basics. So don't forget to check out those videos as well. But if you want to buy shares from here, make sure you've got buy selected. You can see it's populated below my position. So I have 40 shares already in Carnival. If I want to add more, you can select from day order or good till cancelled. A day order is going to be valid for that day. It will try to execute. If it can't, by the end of that day, then it's going to cancel off. GTC is good till cancelled. That means that if it hasn't been cancelled by the end of the day or been filled by the end of the day, it will try again tomorrow. So we'll leave it on day order. Limit order, market order, stop loss, stop limit. Again, I'll run through those in a separate video. Check that out. You'll see how you can use those to your advantage. But the basics of a limit order is trading at 26.78 now. Let's say I want to buy it at 26 and I want to buy one share. I pop the details in there. It exchanges it for me and tells me it will cost me £18.71. That's the impact on my free funds. And then you click place order. It will show you the fee before it actually tries to execute, and then you confirm from there. I'll cancel it off because I don't actually want that one. If you wanted a market order, even easier, how many shares do you want to buy? And again, it shows you the fee here. With the market order, for a liquid company like Carnival, it's probably going to execute pretty much straight away and pretty much at this price. If it's a less liquid company, sometimes people don't like these orders because you could potentially place an order, it doesn't fill for a while, the price changes and you don't get the price that you were expecting. So just be careful there. For the other order types, just check out the other video on my channel. Again, linked in a card and linked in a description, and you can get a better idea of how they work. The same will apply to sell orders as well. As you can see, it's exactly the same order types available to you, and same information that you need to provide there. When you're selling, of course, you can sell part of your portfolio. So I have 40 shares. If I want to sell a market order for 20 of those, then that's not a problem. That's how you would do it from there. that there was a very basic walkthrough of the platform, but hopefully it helps you find your way around a little bit. You'll also find a full playlist dedicated to this platform on my channel. If you have more questions, let me know down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.